On tonight's episode of Honda Street Garage, Mark fixes the K20 and then breaks it again. In a world where your K20 is broken, you might be able to fix it and then break it again.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Honda Street Garage. Finally, we have, I'm hoping, a solution to our idling issue with the K20, and I'm praying to God that I'll be able to drive it around today. So I finally got in the mail a new air idle control valve, so I'm going to install that and see if that corrects our problem. So without any more bullshitting or talking, let's just get to it. Okay, so here's our air idle control valve. I have the throttle body taken off. It's upside down. Popping these screws loose can be a pain in the ass. So beware. The way that I did it was I put some channel locks on these screws, pop them loose. You usually need like a impact driver, say for some brake rotors. Don't lose them. Praying to God that that's our problem. Here's the seals. The seal itself looks a little chewed up for sure, but the other thing is like you can literally look inside there and see that the piece is open. So yeah, you can see it's like wide open in there. It's hard to see on camera, but it really is. Yep, I'm gonna put this to the side over here. Let's hope our new seal fits just as good. And here's our new guy. I really hope that this fixes our problem. I'll stick this seal in here. I might need to put the camera down just to make sure I get this sit on there right. So I'm gonna put the seal in, I'm gonna put the sensor on, and we'll be back. Okay, so I have everything bolted back up the way it should be on the throttle body here. Reset the battery. I bled the coolant again yesterday. You know, there shouldn't be much bleeding involved unless there's just massive amounts of air. The trains, you can hear the wind blowing, so you can see the coolant is full, but we are going to bleed it anyway. The car is dead cold. But it doesn't fit on this radiator. Sounds better. So far, so good. That is such a good sound. It's not wow, wow. By now it would be going up and down. Maybe we could take this thing up and get the exhaust welded up today. Wow, this thing sounds really good now. Well, be back in a minute. The car is running good. We are now going to take this down to the exhaust shop and get the exhaust taken care of, wrapped up, welded up. Listen to how good this thing runs. As soon as we get the exhaust welded up, I think we'll, do some driving around, do some pulls, and see how this thing runs. So far, I've driven it around the block. I've ridden in all the gears, and it seems phenomenal, honestly. So I have a check engine light. That's because I have a stock ECU and no O2 sensors. It's idling nice and pretty. So let's go to the exhaust shop and get this taken care of. Making you famous.
Babies in his belly.
That's right.
You going live, man? Let me get next. Watch out, bud.
See how she sound now. Woo! That's silent. I gotta back out of here. My girl. So I just drove the car from the exhaust shop to my shop. And wow, like now that the car is not deafeningly loud, you can actually drive it like a normal car, and this thing just pulls in every gear. It's weird, you know, even in fifth gear, you don't need a downshift. You just step on the gas and it just pulls. And then when it hits VTEC, it really pulls. I mean, I'm really impressed with how it feels and drives and sounds. I can't go smash the throttle quite yet on this. I found a leak where it's leaking from, and it's leaking from the place where the sensor goes in to read the temperature. I need to kind of either tighten that up or Teflon tape it here, but I'm gonna have to wait for the coolant to cool down before I can do that. I don't want to go ripping on this thing without with any leaks going on. But yeah, it drives insanely nice. So yeah, I'm gonna tighten up a few little odds and ends and button them up, and then we'll be right back to it. I fixed the car and then I broke the fucking car. I'm a little annoyed. Anyway, you can see the fuel rail is pulled off. What I did is that the one place that it was leaking coolant from was this little so you can focus here, was this little fitting here that went down into there. And I waited for the car to cool down and everything, and I went to remove it, and it basically did not want to come out. So I'm going to go run down to the hardware store and see if I can find a replacement. I don't know if the threads on that are shot, but at this point, what else can I do other than have to get another one of those pieces, and let's hope we don't have to do that. So I'm a little annoyed, obviously, because I've been waiting this long to get the car running and driving, and then finally I did, and I was just leaking a little bit, so I was going to pull this out and put some little extra Teflon tape on it. Yeah, things went wrong. So I'm going to run to the hardware parts store and just see if I can find a replacement for this, and pray to God. I'm so annoyed right now, but I mean, what can you do? I waited this long to get this car running. I made one drive in it. I knew I should have just left it and waited to fix it later, but I was like, let's just go ahead and knock it out and then everything will be fine. The only place that it was leaking coolant from, it was just barely bubbling out of there. The car didn't overheat or anything. It was just, oh, this should be done, so let's go ahead and knock it out. But, what can you do? You win some, you lose some. I really wanted to do some pulls for you today, but I don't know. If we can find the piece and replace the piece, then we still might be able to do that later tonight. We still have time. But if not, I'm gonna have to order another piece and wait another week for it to show up. So what can you do? Okay, so I found something that might work at the auto parts store. I'm not sure, but it's actually a brass fitting that I think is the same size. It's got a nipple at the top, but I think we can make that work with the temperature sensor, no problem. The question is, can we get this to thread in and not leak? All right, so here we are. I'm gonna take a look at this K20, and we're gonna tell you what happened. Burr, burr, burr. Burr, burr, burr. Things are no bueno. For the temp sensor, I just kind of shoved it down in there, put some sealant around it, you know, just a little bit of sealant. We're gonna see if it holds. Now, I'm sure everybody's gonna roast me in the comments for like, what? Why didn't you just go to Honda and buy a brand new part, like right now at nighttime? I'm going to obviously fix this the right way. This is just a temporary fix to try to get around a little bit because I wanna be able to drive the car. You know, it's leaking coolant right there. And, you know, I made a mistake, stripped it out. Yeah, so that's that. So, unfortunately, no pulls tonight. Okay, guys, this is where I'm going to end it. Unfortunately, we couldn't do some pulls and go up and down the road. Hopefully, in the next day or two, if this little quick fix works, I'm definitely going to replace everything because it kind of gnarled up the threads. And so what I did was I just said, fuck it. It's all fucked anyway. I'm going to have to replace this piece. K-Tuned actually has a nice piece that would go right there. Yeah, so I may either replace it with an OEM piece or a K-Tuned piece. So we'll just see what happens. But for now, we're going to have to go ahead and end the video. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much. We just hit 60,000 subscribers, which is really exciting. Moving on up. Next step is 100,000. So yeah, click like, share. Tell everybody you know so we can finally hit 100,000 subscribers. It's like a milestone that I really want to hit. So hopefully coming up soon, we'll be driving this thing around and then, you know, down the road, you know, doing budget EK. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to keep up with me through Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and keep on living your dreams.